So Ram Ram to all of you. After listening to 10 brilliant speakers before me, and as the last speaker, it becomes a challenging thing. I'll try to make it as brief as possible. My stopwatch is on. So before I speak about the hurdles which we see, let me quote certain examples which have happened with me and where I see the transformation. So we'll have to understand the first word, which is transformation. When you change things from normal to abnormal or not so normal or a new normal.
A new normal.
So one incident happened, and this is about Junjunu, which is in Rajasthan. A farmer of around 67 or 68 years of old age, never gone to school, had a mobile in his hand, and very small farm, and he saw what do you call it, pest worm on his leaves of the farm. And we know traditionally what happens if the pest come on the crop, we lose it. And what happens is that government provides somebody called as agriculture officer in every district. So these farmers are supposed to carry that paste, the leaf or the fruit or the root which is impacted. Then they tell ki saab ye ho gaya hai, and this person then writes which is the pesticide that has to be used. Then they go and spray it. Now assume, have you gone to this place called as Junjun? You will see that the district headquarter from that particular place called as Jhajjar is almost around 2 hours journey. And when I say 2 hour journey, when if you have a car, and if you don't have a car and you go through the bus, then that pain is that you have to wait for the bus to come and then go and meet them. And then this agriculture officer is not available to meet you because, you know, acha, Nirupama ji aa rahi hai, to main baithunga aur bataunga. It's not like that. So you meet him and then come back. It takes sometimes 2 days and sometimes it takes 3 days to come back, then buy it and then spray. And meantime, the pest does not wait for you. It continues to damage your farm, and then that meager landholding farmer loses further. What I saw was, which changed me, and I thought that will be a good example of transformation, is this farmer went to his farm, clicked the photograph of that particular pest, clicked the photograph of the leaf which is there, and used WhatsApp to transmit that particular thing, and called up the agriculture officer. Saab bheja hai, dekhna. The agriculture officer sitting there somewhere 80-70 kilometers away from him knew that this guy is not educated. So what he did is he also took photograph of the pesticide which has to be taken and simply wrote something and he called it ki tau jaake isko dukan wale ko dikhana. So he knew this guy cannot read what I have written. So he goes to the dukan wala guy and says ki ye patta hai, ye keeda hai aur saap ne ye bheja hai. So he sees that oh, this is the pesticide, and he explains 1:80 यानी 1 चम्मच pesticide में 80 times आपको उसमें तेल डाल के spray करना है. Now this all transaction happens in 30-35 minutes. See the tremendous benefit which this farmer gets, and that is what is called as transformation. Now, when you have this kind of transformation, what you think, isn't that good to people? And now let us talk about what happens when the Prime Minister stands on the ramparts of 15 August at Red Fort, and he says, we would like to see India digitally sound, transform, technologically. And then you go on giving these kind of examples, which are UPI, Aadhaar, which I've been hearing since morning. Beautiful examples where people have been enabled. One thing which you should know is the idea of governance in India, especially with the current dispensation, is Antodaya. Antodaya is where it is not benefiting to the people who are sitting here or people like us who are hearing us through the digital facilities. Those people who have never seen this kind of facilities, those who have never come to this kind of rooms, they have never seen air conditioning. Those people who are standing last, they have to benefit this particular thing from the digital space. So I thought I'll give you some trivial examples so that this trivial example sets your mind what is coming up. Now, what is the challenge? The challenge is when you move from brick and mortar economy to the virtual economy, or the brick and mortar governance model to the virtual model, then there is a challenge. Now, let me give you one example. I don't want to sound anything political here, but this is purely quotation of this thing. One of the earlier prime minister said, when he sends a rupee, it only 15 paisa reaches. The leakages and the issues of transparency, we all know this were there. And this is not only with the government, it is also with corporates and banks. There may be issues of transparency. Now, when this happens, what is the benefit? Then I have to quote, Rangaranj committee, then HK Khan committee, that inclusion was not there, financial inclusions were challenges. Was there a sincerity? Answer is yes, there was an element of sincerity in those people also, but they had two challenges. One, technological challenges that time, and two, will was not present. Now what has changed and this transformation has happened is the will has come and technology is also available. and you see this direct benefit transfer which has happened. I have some figures which I can share with you. More than 420 schemes of the government under 56 ministries. Now, all those who have who are sitting in front of me, 90% of you have scored more marks than what I have scored in my post-graduation. 90% of you know more technology than what I even understand and heard about the technology. I was almost zapped when I was listening to Yatish and his technological terms. But on one particular day, one single day, on 24th, it was, I think, 30th March 2000, when the COVID period was going on, 219 crores, 2.19 crore transactions happened in the DPT space itself. Now there are girls, students who are studying. There are other colleagues who are sitting here. They can understand. I don't know whether they will realize this particular pain. Even earlier, post-freedom, there were benefits which were passed on to the citizens. But women, when they would go to collect that cash from the officer there, talatis, or what they call as revenue officers or this thing, things were not very good. One, they won't get the money full. Two, there were things which I would not dream it for anybody known to me. Police stations or maybe anything else. Now, what happened is a single click, 2.19 crore people got, and half of them are women flocks who were manifested. Between 24th March and 17th April, only 23 days, I'm quoting this 23 days, 27,442 crore rupees. It's a big amount. Maybe bankers don't have this thing, but a person like me, who is on the lowest slab of tax, 27,422 crore rupees, 27,442 crore rupees been distributed. And you know what is the number of beneficiaries? The number of beneficiaries is 11.4 crore people. Now, when we talk about this kind of volume of money which is gone, and this two example, one, a private example of a farmer taking a photograph and sharing it with the benefit. Then comes people, there are challenges which are there, and especially the regulatory hurdles which are talking about. We have labor laws which protect the labor force. And of course, when they protect, they have certain laws. So when you have this kind of thing, can you deploy digital tools at will? Then there are challenges which you will have when you deploy the digital tools. There are areas in this country which are designated as forest, anthropologically sensitive areas. I don't know any one of you can ever enter few islands of Andaman. Are you allowed even if as a citizens of this country? No, probably not even officers who are not, other than designated few people, because those places are put. So this kind of laws, these kind of challenges which will be there, and they're good challenges. They are not bad challenges. They're not bad hurdles. So now I'm not talking about the hurdles which are bad. We will have to protect them, right? So there we will not be able to said, how would you do that with the protected tribes who are there, Jarvas who are there? How would you digitally enable them? So that challenge will always be there. Then we are getting enlightened, and when we get enlightened, we talk about a lot of things, and one of the things which we talk about is privacy, and we don't want to share things. And one of the dilemma which I have when I go on TV debates, the anchors talk about privacy when they put everything on Facebook. So we know everything what they wear, eat, and what they do, and who are their family members, but yet they talk about privacy. But we respect this. And there is this famous case of Puttoswamy versus State of Union of India. 9 judges, and they have put this in place. So now the moment it is privacy, I was on the task force along with Mohandas Pai with Ministry of Road Transport, and we wrote a paper which was accepted. The task force report was accepted, and the government was kind enough to think about this. We proposed OVSM. OVSM is Online Vehicle Smart Model, whereby you can geofence the vehicle. We don't have to put the tax collectors. Nobody talked about the toll collectors. Have you ever paid toll in your life? I think almost all of you would have. So when I was the task force member and we were doing study, a deep dive of this particular part, I was concerned about future of this toll collector. They only have one thing to do. They just bend on the right-hand side and give you tickets. They don't think anything. Only if a beautiful girl comes in the car, probably for a few seconds. Yes. Otherwise, he just bends and gives you the ticket, and there is nothing else. After a year, when he goes for a promotion or increment, he's thrown out and replaced by somebody who's a economical resource. So we propose OVSM, saying that if this is done, automatically you will travel. You don't have to put this, and this workforce can be redeployed in a better way. You don't have to deploy the 237,000 constables who watch your speed. The OVSM will tell you. Now the word privacy came and they said कि Vinit ji ये करने से पहले privacy वालों को handle करना पड़ेगा. And then I came to know that something called as privacy वालों को handle करना पड़ेगा. This privacy is not a concern, but this privacy walas are the handle. So as a hurdle, we have to look at this particular team which has a microscopic minority which has problem with everything which comes as law for benefits of the larger crowd. And so we have fast track, which serves one part, but not the complete part in this particular thing. I'll give you one more example of sincerity and the hurdle which is there. If you have seen my bio on the governing council of CRS, which is Ministry of Railways, as a governing council member, and then Minister Suresh Prabhu, we were discussing. I checked with one of the members of Railway Board. He said, "Aap kitne sincere hote jab grievances aata hai? Is there a sincerity in grievances handling?" And he said, they are sincere. And I also believe that they are sincere. Then my second subsequent question was to them was, then why don't you solve grievances when it's been written? And he explained to me. He said, when you're traveling, you see a bulb not been functioning or a fan not functioning or something like that. You get down at the destination station, then you write a complaint, then it comes to the car shed, they track the coach, and after that they resolve it. It takes time, sir. We had a discussion that there is an element of sincerity, but this is the compulsion. We can't come up. What do we do? The minister was very upfront and he was technologically aware. He then had subsequently discussions with the cabinet and also the prime minister. And prime minister being digitally aware, I think this is the best time that we have as a country, and is that he's a digitally sound person. Grievances handling was done through social media, and you would have seen first time jahan railway mein kaam nahi hota tha, where you tweet something and on train they just divided things in ABC. So A level challenges, bulb change karna hai, something is there, could be done on when you are traveling. B level where it requires the cart to stop. See, the mirror has to be changed. If the locks have been done, they did. And C level where there was necessary of budgetary provisions and policy provisions, then it will be taken when things are there. You saw a moment when a railway man delivered milk to the baby. If you remember, there was one of the trains where the mother tweeted she needs milk and it was delivered. I happened to meet this person and I asked him, "A voucher submit कर दीजिएगा, आपका खर्चा आ जाएगा." उन्होंने कहा, "बच्चों के दूध के लिए पैसे नहीं लेते सर." Where you had an image of a railway man who was not helping, where I saw them spending from their own pocket so that they can deliver good. Now this transformation can happen, but there will be hurdles. Before you say it is 10 minutes and my stopwatch has shown it. We will always have challenges. Contract Act, when it was done, maybe legal illuminaries who are there, they will tell us over a century, right? It requires to be enabled. Then there are these Copyright Act. So I have one thing which is little, I don't know whether I should speak here in this forum, but let me speak out. Something, some place, something was burning and writers did something. When they were doing it, they could put it on the Twitter and further it aggravated the situation. But few of us, when we objected to it, we were said that it's a copyright issue. So our tweets were brought down. Now, copyright can be used against larger good transfer. So this is an issue which, do we have copyright or not? I'm not a champion. I can't comment on that. Probably some enlightened person here would do that particular point. You don't protect, then how will innovations happen? If you protect, then how things will go down. So IPR issues are there. The other or more challenges are there. One thing which we have to understand, and that will be my last 3 minutes, is I was fortunate to write this book, Data Sovereignty, along with General Shekhar and Raw Deputy Director Ranade, and the book was covered by ISRO Chairman. While I was talking to them when this book was coming up, is that we have to be aware of something called as colonization. These hurdles will keep coming. They will have challenges. These hurdles are sometimes genuine hurdles, which we have to address. How do we handle the privacy issue? Sometimes these hurdles are of greed. Mera chhut jayega. So those people who wanted to push that Aadhaar DBT out was because they were losing that control, that power which they were getting. So sometimes it is greed, but sometimes it is thoughtful strategy. You are August gathering. I can learn a lot of things from all of you. You should be aware that many times when hurdles are created and when they have been discussed in public forum, these are the people who know how to colonize you without a sword or without a weapon, by using your data against you particularly. So these challenges of greed, compulsions, and thoughtful colonizer have to be debated. 10 minutes is a very less time. Some 10, 12 hours are needed for this particular part. But I would like to thank